Justice Jackson?
But isn't an artist typically sort of a freelancer, and they are selling their own messages? They're not purporting to be a business for hire in any meaningful sense. And so I want to kind of go back to Justice Kavanaugh's thought of, like, where do we place your client as between, restaurants and artists? I thought that there really isn't that clear a distinction in a situation like this, because your client is an artist for hire, essentially. Yes, she does customize things. They're not off the shelf, but she purports to be a public accommodation, providing customized things to anyone who pays her, except for people whose messages are those that she disagrees with. And I just don't know that I've ever seen that kind of scenario, even in the cases that you're talking about, because sort of what Justice Gorsuch was saying, it's relying on the implicit message that she does not want to convey by supporting this person. There's an explicit message in the actual work, but to the extent that actual work is identical to the work that she would otherwise sell to the gay couple, except for their names, then she is implicitly saying, by selling this, I'm going to be violating my own beliefs. So let me just ask you another quick hypo. So I'm trying to understand the extent to which this matters that she's a speaker as opposed to a restaurant. So I sell food, and one line of products that I make is from scratch for particular customers that are based on my grandmother's cherished family recipes. My dearly departed grandmother was clear that she only wanted to provide this kind of nourishment for people who share our same religious heritage. So I call these products Grandma Helen's Protestant Provisions. And I sit with each customer who comes in, and I hear about their faith and their family, and I customize the recipe for them after having this discussion. So the food is not expressive, right? I'm not speaking in my food, but I am trying to convey that only certain people get to partake in this product. Can I do that consistent with the First Amendment or not?
No, and in this situation, as you said, in terms of a caterer, the caterer is not engaging in speech. In terms of your initial statements or questions, speech is speech, whether it's paid or pro bono.
But don't we have cases that suggest that people's conduct can be expressive? I thought there was a whole line of cases that said you didn't have to actually have an express message. You could be acting in such a way as to express a message. And in my restaurant hypo, I'm saying if I sell to non-Protestants, I'd be expressing a message contrary to Grandma Helen's core beliefs.
You're speaking through conduct at that point, and that is a different analysis. In terms of the expressive conduct test, the court has already articulated what those tests are and what a reasonable person would observe. But in that case, you're talking essentially about status discrimination. There's no message that she is creating that would be compelled in that way. That would simply be service. In addition, though, I think it's important to recognize the breadth of the public accommodation law. You started with a statement about freelance writers. At oral argument at the 10th Circuit, my friend in Colorado admitted that freelance writers are considered to be public accommodations under this law.
All right, well, I'll ask them about that, but what about my photographer? My photographer is speaking through photography, yes?
In your photography, yes, photography is speech, just as websites are under the court's decision in Reno.
All right, so my photographer is speaking by being forced to create a Santa photo with minority children in it that they don't want to. They don't think that should be there.
The issue in that hypothetical isn't whether there is speech. The issue is, in that context, are they otherwise serving those and expressing other messages, and does the objection that they're asserting line up with the message? The court in Hurley did the exact same analysis to say, is the parade organizers otherwise...
But Hurley was a private association. It wasn't a public business. What I'm asking you is, I have a public business. I'm a photographer. My belief is that, I'm doing It's a Wonderful Life scenes. That's what I'm offering, okay? I want to do video depictions of It's a Wonderful Life. And I'm knowing that movie very well. I want to be authentic, and so only white children and families can be customers for that particular product. Everybody else can, I'll give to everybody else, I'll sell them anything they want, just not the It's a Wonderful Life depictions. I'm expressing something, right, for your purposes, that's speech. What about, what's the other step? It's speech, and I can say anti-discrimination laws can't make me sell the It's a Wonderful Life package to non-white individuals.
In the same way, I would say, first of all, in the same way that this court, when there is a message and a status and it's overlapping, the court would say that message wins in that instance.
So I don't have to sell it to
I don't think that that message is in that hypothetical, but take the example of the musical of Hamilton. There's a direct overlap in the musical of Hamilton, and in that case, we know that they're expressing a preference for who they're hiring in terms of race.
No, I'm
Yet
not
we would
talking
say
about,
that
you're sort of slipping into it like 1,000 different analogies. I just want you to focus on whether or not I have speech when I'm a photography business and I hang out my shingle, everybody can come, but I have certain products that I'll only sell to to white individuals because the speech that I'm trying to depict is the authentic depiction of that scene as I understand it and that I want to put out there in the world, and it has my signature on the bottom of it, so people are seeing my photos, and I want my photos of It's a Wonderful Life to be as authentic as possible, meaning no people of color.
it seems in each iteration of the hypothetical, the objection is changing. What I can articulate is the test, and I can also say that when there's an overlap between message and status, message does win, and Hamilton provides an example of that.
All right, thank you.
I would